one of the most dominant fighters of all time. However, there's just one problem. He retired at 32 years old and just 3 title defenses due to the passing of his father. This makes a lot of fans wonder, what would happen if Prime Khabib fought against the current lightweights of today? That's why I'm here to discuss how he would match up. To start with Drew Dober, I think it's pretty obvious. Khabib would take him down and submit him. Drew Dober's been taken down and submitted multiple times. Guys like Islam Makhachev, Beneil Dariush, Olivier Mercier, whoever the dude from PFL is. But it did take Islam 3 rounds to submit him, so maybe Drew could take him to the second, but Khabib by submission in the second round. Next on to Khabib versus Bobby Green. Again, pretty obvious. Bobby Green has 74% takedown defense, and he wrestled in high school, was all-state in California. But, I mean, come on, we said the same thing with Justin Gaethje. Bobby Green has slick striking, maybe could land some okay jabs and straights in like the first round, but you can't do that versus Khabib for a long period of time. I think Khabib would just push him against the fence, take him down, ground and pound him, finish him the first round like Islam Makhachev. All right, next to Khabib versus Renato Moicano. Moicano's pretty good on the ground. Obviously, he's got really good submissions, and he also does have good striking, but the problem is he doesn't really have a great KO threat, or he doesn't have super quick hands like a guy like Dustin Poirier. So I don't really see how a way he could beat Khabib. Usually, Renato's game plan is to like knock him down and then submit him like he did versus Brad Riddell and kind of he did versus Cub Swanson. So I just don't see that being versus Khabib. I don't see Khabib just like immediately subbing him because Renato's good on the ground, but I could see him ground and pounding him, finishing him in the late second round. Now Khabib versus one of my favorite fighters, Rafael dos Anjos. This would just be a repeat of their first fight. RDA did land some good leg kicks and body kicks in their first fight, but man, Khabib's just too relentless. He would get taken down. You call me crazy if you want, but I don't see Khabib finishing RDA because he's just too competent on the ground. He's not going to be like a Dustin Poirier or Justin Gaethje. So 30-27, maybe a 10-8 round, but by decision, Khabib. The next matchup would be Khabib versus Benoit Saint-Denis. Man, Benoit Saint-Denis is a wild man. Puts crazy pressure, lands great body kicks, obviously has good grappling, but he's doing this versus lower level competition like Bonfim, Moises, Matt Frivola. These are good fighters, but come on, this is not Khabib level. I actually think he's going to beat Dustin Poirier with his grappling, but again, Dustin Poirier is not Khabib, so the fight would eventually slow down in the second round. I think Benoit Saint-Denis could pressure Khabib for like the first round, and like it could be kind of even, but by the second, Khabib would just put him against the fence, slow him down, take him down, probably take his back, and put a rear naked choke in the second round. Yeah, Khabib versus Dan the Hangman Hooker, not much to say. It would probably just be Hooker versus Islam. Khabib by Kimura in the first round. All right, Khabib versus Jalen the Tarantula Turner. Jalen's a pretty big dude, as you can see on the screen, and maybe he can cause some problems on the feet, like teep kicks, keep him at range, but Jalen got broken bad in the Dan Hooker fight. I did not like that. It was a bad look for him. He's gotten out-grappled by Gamrot, out-grappled by Matt Frivola, so Khabib would probably ground and pound him in the second round. To Khabib versus Rafael Fiziev. I believe Rafael Fiziev would land some good body kicks, maybe some good strikes on the feet like Edson Barboza did, but man, Rafael Fiziev did slow down pretty bad in the Justin Gaethje fight in the third round, and then Justin just beat him up. So I just see Khabib doing the opposite with just taking him down and then eventually submitting him. Rafael Fiziev actually has some pretty good takedown defense if you saw the RDA fight, and he was stuffing a good amount of Gamrot's takedowns, but I mean, he got taken down by Justin Gaethje in the third round due to him gassing, so Khabib would do the same thing, rear naked choke. On to Khabib versus Beneil Dariush. Oh man, I remember when Beneil was the Islam stopper. I had faith in him, but now to the matchup with Khabib. I believe Beneil would stay competitive with grappling. I mean, Ally Quinta did well. Justin Gaethje stopped, I think, like the first 2 takedowns versus Khabib, so I see no reason why Beneil couldn't. And I could see him doing some Granby rolls or go for leg locks, stuff of that nature. And on the feet, this might sound crazy. I think Khabib can handle Beneil's striking. Not in the fact of piecing him up like Charles Oliveira did, but Khabib is very defensively sound, so I can see him jabbing, popping away. But I just think eventually Khabib would take down Beneil. He wouldn't lay anything on the feet. It's not going to be like Charles or Armand. I just see Khabib winning by unanimous decision. Now on to Khabib versus Mateus Gamrot. Gamrot's an obviously elite wrestler. He's got great control, not the best submissions. And his striking is solid, but not necessarily dangerous. He doesn't have a lot of knockout power. Khabib, again, like I mentioned previously, he's got good defensive striking, solid jab, but I don't think he's going to properly knock down Mateus Gamrot like Jalen Turner did. I just see Khabib winning by unanimous decision, maybe holding him against the fence. I could see him taking down Gamrot, but Gamrot's a good grappler. I don't see him getting submitted, getting TKO'd. Now on to Khabib versus Michael Chandler, probably my favorite fighter in the UFC. It's disappointing to me because if you look on paper, he has the perfect style to threaten or beat Khabib. He's got crazy athleticism, great explosiveness. He has a Division I All-American wrestling background, great knockout power. He's got good technical striking, leg kicks, body kicks. But man, he just likes to brawl and he doesn't have the best fight IQ. I could definitely see him taking round one off Khabib, just putting him on the back foot, pressuring him, landing good strikes on the feet. But by the second or third, not even like the championship rounds, I think Michael Chandler would slow down. I mean, Dustin Poirier put him in a rear naked choke and submitted him. Khabib would do the same thing, probably by round 3. On to Khabib versus Arman Tsarukyan, and man, I wish I could have seen this fight. This would be a fun and competitive matchup. Arman can scramble with Khabib in the early rounds all days. I'm not gonna lie, I could see Arman taking a second round off Khabib, maybe the first round. But the problem is he did slow down in round 4 and 5 with Gamrot. If it was 3 rounds, I'd probably say unanimous decision for Khabib. If it was 5 rounds, I could see Khabib TKOing him in the 5th. But man, Arman's a scary dude, bro. He's got a wrestling background, scrambles for days, great body kicks. He just finished Beneil on the feet. So I would be worried if I was Khabib in this fight. Now on to Khabib versus Dustin Poirier. Not much to say. It would probably just be a repeat of the same fight. Dustin can land some good hooks and straights on the feet, but Khabib would just put him against the fence, take him down, choke him out by round 3. Now on to Khabib versus Justin Gaethje. I know Khabib easily submitted Justin, but this is still a really dangerous fight for him. Gaethje has nuclear power, and he's got really good leg kicks, which were landing in the first fight. But once Khabib does get him on the ground, which I think would be inevitable, he'll just submit him. I'd probably pick him by rear naked choke, maybe an arm bar in round 2. Khabib versus Charles do Bronx Oliveira. Oh man, I would have killed to see this matchup because let's be real, everyone wanted to see Khabib versus Tony, but I think Oliveira is just a better Tony Ferguson. So Khabib versus an elite grappler, we all would have liked to see that. Not going to happen. But in this matchup, Khabib is defensively sound, granite chin, but overall, Oliveira outstrikes him. He's got all the freaking tools, teep kicks, body kicks, jabs. So Khabib, he could land some jabs on him, but Islam's just a way better striker, so I don't see Khabib hurting him like Islam Makhachev did. But the problem is Charles has been taken out plenty of times, like versus Kevin Lee, and Islam controlled him pretty easily. Beneil was controlling him for a little bit before getting finished. So Khabib probably 49-46. I could see Oliveira outlanding him on the feet for one round, but Khabib by unanimous decision in my opinion. Finally, Khabib versus Islam Makhachev. Teacher versus the student, the mentor versus the protege. But in this case, the student has overtaken the teacher. In my opinion, Islam's just a better version of Khabib. He's got the same amount of wrestling, same amount of submission ability. Maybe not as good ground and pound, but his striking is just way better. I mean, look at it on the feet versus Volkanovski versus Charles Oliveira. His head movement's good, his boxing is good, his kicks are great, body kicks, head kicks. And then in this matchup, is Khabib just going to take down Islam? Maybe, but I don't see that happening. It will. And if it does, Islam's an elite level grappler. I don't see him getting submitted. I don't think Khabib is the type of guy to get finished, though, either by submission or KOs. Chin's granite. So I could just see Islam winning by unanimous decision, maybe like 48-47, 49-46, just getting outlined on the feet and then failing takedowns. Those are my opinions on if Prime Khabib came back and fought the top 15 of today's lightweight division. Please let me know down in the comments what you think, or if you agree or disagree. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.